Hello and welcome to Deep Thoughts, Shallow Plots.
My name is Erika, and I think clowns are really creepy.
My name is Katy, and I personally love a carnival aesthetic. What are we overanalyzing today?
We are overanalyzing the 1988 cult classic Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
Do the low part.
Killer Klowns.
I just love the little sharp clowns.
Should we just start with the song?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
The way the movie
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how else to start talking about this movie without discussing the fact that the Dickies brought it.
They did. So here's the thing. Having not seen the movie,
yes.
But certainly they read a script.
I'm not even sure because there's not much direct.
Or did they just get like a...
They were just told it's Killer Klowns from Outer Space, and they're like, okay, it's P.T. Barnum. What else we got? Circuses.
It's very high concept.
Yeah.
It basically writes itself. Yeah.
My favorite part is that first part at the beginning where it's like,
some make you laugh, some make you cry.
But these clowns are gonna just make you die.
Yeah.
That's brilliant songwriting.
It's brilliant, yeah.
Everything about this movie is actually brilliant, is the deep thought we have for this movie.
Yeah, actually, kind of.
This movie is really good, you guys.
Yeah.
I was like, this looks bad, but...
And dumb. Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's so camp. It commits to the bit. And that's all I ask for, really, is commitment.
Commitment, right.
Especially about clowns.
Exactly. And I was actually thinking, because this is one that we did watch together, and... you were laughing a lot.
And there were a number of times when I did my trademark loud cackle. I was going to try to make myself do it. I can't do it on cue.
You will.
My guffaw,
I think like you laughed the most I think I've ever seen you laugh at a movie.
Possibly.
Definitely a movie that we've covered for the podcast.
I can't think of anything. It was just the continual delight of like, oh, now they're using shadow puppets. Or like, oh,
right.
Now it's a popcorn gun.
So
it was just like everything they did to like commit to the clown aesthetic. Every time they were like, yeah, cotton candy. Yeah, pies. Yeah.
Popcorn gun.
Yeah. Little car.
Spaceship in the shape of a
fucking
big
huge
top.
Big top. The balloon dog. The balloon dog killed me. The way it moved, it was just so trapesy.
So good.
Everything about you're right. Every other second of this movie, I was just like,
what is happening right now?
That was good too. When he punches the dude's head off? Like,
yes.
Come on. Just straight up punches that man's head off.
That's hilarious. Also,
and he was right, too. That biker was a jerk.
Oh, absolutely. For me, also, when the one clown is putting on the puppet show for just, like, one dude to meander into that gazebo.
Yes. And it's just like...
And he's like...
a little lesson about consent.
Yeah, and he's, like, entertained.
Yeah, he's
you
like,
know?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, puppet show. And I'm like, you're entertained by a puppet show?
I would be.
Yeah, probably.
I love puppets. If I randomly wandered into a puppet show, I would be slightly scared.
Uh-huh.
But mostly delighted.
Yeah.
Because I love puppets. I do like clowns.
Yeah.
A mime. Hello.
You do love mimes.
I'm obsessed with mimes.
I would just like to...
I'm obsessed with everything at a circus.
I would like to clarify my statement about finding clowns creepy, because that's not... untrue. It's just a little bit more nuanced, right? So clowns,
yes, the depths,
yeah. So clowns have like always been the thing that freaked me out the most, like as a kid.
It's a thing I know about you.
Yeah, clowns have always been a no-go for me, but that's just kind of like a weird phobia thing, because I also understand intellectually that clowning is an art.
It is,
and you and I both love and appreciate the art of drag.
Yes.
And clowning and drag, there's a big, in that Venn diagram, there's a pretty big overlap. So I appreciate...
What did you think of Susie Toots' clown drag that she did, the little pink?
Yes, and the rest of the cast was like reading her for it.
I know, I loved it. I was like, Susie Toots, you could not be more my favorite right now.
And she's like, you all cannot handle me in my clown drag. And that is
pink
fine.
And cute. I do love a drag clown crossover.
Absolutely. Yes, so like I understand that those arts are very similar, and they do like what clowns do are skills. Like juggling is a skill. Like riding a unicycle or like making balloon animals. Like those are skills.
Yes.
Well,
that's the other thing
having
about
comedic
clowns.
timing. That's a skill.
I mean, I understand why people are afraid of anything that like paints its face or like hides its face.
Let's talk about that.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, that's a human, but there's something being hidden there. I think especially with the like, when it's like a painted on smile, but you can see underneath that they're not actually smiling. Maybe because they're just concentrating on what they're doing, or because they're an evil killer clown because you're watching something with that, you know, whatever it is. But it's that fake smile, classically from the Joker. Though sometimes he is smiling for real, but that's actually worse.
Sometimes, yeah. So this will not be an anti-clown podcast.
No.
Yeah, it's interesting because we've actually never discussed clowns.
On the pod? No. I thought you were avoiding clowns, honestly.
Right, yeah.
Much as I avoid water.
I've actually, over the last, like, I would like to think few years, really done, like, a lot of growth.
Oh,
I've
nice.
gone through a lot of growth.
That for you.
I, like, am a little bit more cool with clowns now. But, so I understand from personal experience that clowns can be really unsettling and scary.
Yeah, and I've never felt that.
You've never felt that. I love that.
I mean, except for like the specific, like the clowns that are meant to be scary because they got like the sharp teeth and the creepy, you know, the ones that are like clearly meant to be scary. But just like a clown hanging out, I'm like, what up, dude? Love your colors.
Yeah, right? Love the vibe.
Yeah,
way to, like,
love your nose.
You know, bring up the energy in here a little bit.
Yes. Right? I mean, my favorite role that I ever played in Shakespeare was getting to play the jester Trinculo.
It wasn't Titania?
No, because that was not a funny. I like to play a comedic role, but I have a wonderful, evocative stage presence that forces me to be fairy queens. But I love being Trinculo in Tempest.
I love that for you.
And I got to wear my motley, and I was adorable.
So, but you understand the like sort of cultural understanding of scary or unsettling clowns.
Yes, I just do not feel it viscerally.
Do you actually know the word for fear of clowns?
I saw it, but I don't know that I could say it out loud.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. The
coral
phobia.
Coulrophobia.
Right. And yeah, not every human being on the planet has it, but a big enough percentage that we're kind of aware of it. And what's interesting about a phobia, like a fear of clowns, is that there is like a psychological element. There is like something just like deeply human. And then there are, of course, like specific cultural reasons.
Right.
Always.
Yeah. I know. I was finding it interesting, which seems so obvious now, but I was reading, you know, different things about how people feel about clowns. And this very obvious point that came up, that was like whenever somebody who does clowning, either like professionally or just like, sometimes clowns at her friends' birthday parties or whatever, whenever they commit any sort of crime, it's like, clown commits crime. And it's never like, you know, carpenter commits crime or like, and like unless it's like relevant to the crime.
And they didn't commit those crimes dressed as a clown.
They just happen to sometimes do clowning. You know?
So bad rap, man.
That just, it's like we want clowns to have a bad rap. Or it's like, because we're like, clowns are supposed to be for kids. How could somebody who clowns also? And it's like,
right.
I don't know. A lot of people who work with kids also do all sorts of things that are not kid appropriate for good and ill.
Yeah.
I mean, because we're fucking adults.
Yeah. I'm an entire person, right?
Yeah.
So like as far as the cultural stuff goes and like American culture, right? And you're gonna tell us a
little more about
the
history,
in the Lit Corner, which I cannot wait for. But thinking about the like more recent culture, clowns are just in the culture not considered scary. They're just not until like the end of the 1970s.
Yeah.
Because of you kind of mentioned it because of John Wayne Gacy.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so
again, was not a professional clown. First off, he just did some clowning in the community because he did a lot of things in the community. Yeah. And B, was not dressed as a clown when he committed his crimes.
Yeah.
So like to associate him with his murders. Yeah. And crimes with clowning is like really unfair to the clown community.
Yeah, but there's like a lot that's unfair about how true crime gets, know, presented in our media. So they really do hammer home the killer clown thing in the media about John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah,
even
that's
though
like
now
the first thing one knows about him.
Yeah, John Wayne Gacy, right? ends up the story really captures like American media attention, and that's like when we start to see more killer clown or scary clown archetypes in media.
I do find it I do find it interesting that it like, I don't know, almost that it took that long.
Right.
Because I was reading this history of creepy clowns by a woman named Madeline Steiner. Just talking about, how clowns in general weren't originally meant to be like family friendly or intended for children anyway.
Yeah.
She says the jokes they told were often misogynistic and full of sexual double entendres, which wasn't a problem because circus audiences at this time were mostly adult and male, right? Because this is when circuses had a lot of like the like quote unquote freak shows and also a lot of like sexually stimulating sideshows where you could see women undress and like gambling and like grifting and alcohol and stuff.
There might be like wanderers.
Yeah, like there were cities that like just straight up banned circuses because they were like bad vibes.
Yeah,
and they'd even appear in drag sometimes, clowns. So like, ew, wow. Yeah. And so they didn't even become family friendly or for women and children until P.T. Barnum started cleaning up the reputation of circuses in like the end of the 19th century.
I was going to say that's like the end of the 1800s, right?
Yeah.
Late
Which
1800s.
is also, I found interesting. It's also when tents got larger to accommodate more of an audience. So it's when clowns became less like talkative and became more slapstick. So that's like kind of why we associate a lot of the slapstick, the big expressions and gestures and stuff.
Probably when the makeup really started.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
When it became something for that back room. So it's just, I don't know, I find it interesting that it's a medium that actually didn't start out being sweet and friendly. So I almost find it surprising that it spent so long, that P.T. Barnum did such a good job of cleaning up its reputation, that it wasn't until like the 70s.
He was a very successful man.
Before people were like, wait, there's an energy here underlying this.
Which I think this movie kind of addresses.
Yeah.
In a fun little campy way.
Yeah.
In a clownish way.
Yeah.
But also, late 70s, John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah.
Then, what's considered a huge part of like a huge cultural moment in thinking clowns are creepy is when Stephen King's It comes out in 1986.
Yeah.
And then it becomes they adapt it into that TV miniseries in 1990 featuring Tim Curry as Pennywise. And I really don't think that it can be understated how much of a formative fear Tim Curry's Pennywise is for me, and I
probably
think a lot of other people. I think what like probably happened is I was a young child in the 90s, and it was probably on TV, and like my dad was probably watching it, and probably saw a scene with Pennywise, and I was like, that's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen, and will now be the basis for every terrifying thing from here on out.
Yeah, I was thinking about like my first experience with like clowns, and I think actually my first experience was with a killer clown in that I watched a lot of the Batman cartoon show and Joker. I mean, he's been around since the 40s. Like, yes, he is an original OG killer clown.
Now, I actually did look this up. It looks like his first appearance is in a comic book, which I don't remember the name of. I'm really sorry. In 1950.
1950. Yeah, okay. But like, I was close.
1950. Yeah. Right. So I was going to mention John Wayne Gacy's a big one, but he does have a little predecessor to help set the scene.
Yeah. But also, there's a thing about the Joker because he's in comic books. Obviously, they do get edgier and edgier, especially around like the 90s, late 80s, 90s comics start getting. I can't remember when The Killing Joke came out. That's the one where he like, poof. Yeah. But before that, especially in the cartoon show that is geared for children, like obviously the Joker is a villain and a prankster and stuff, but he's not scary.
Yeah.
I almost found like the Penguin scarier, or like some of the other villains were kind of scarier than the Joker, because the Joker was just like having a good time.
Yeah, the Joker's there to have a good time, and I also feel like that Joker in the Batman TV series, like it expressed a lot of different emotions.
Yeah, and that's also where we got introduced to Harlequin, who's another just absolute favorite of mine, and she sort of straddles the line between villain and not hero, but
anti-hero.
Yeah, and again, that aesthetic.
She does
so good.
It's giving clown.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of my early childhood associations with clowns, I'm just like, look at them go.
Yay, I love it. Yeah. So we have some like pretty big and impactful cultural reasons, but as I was mentioning with like, you know, the Batman, the version of Joker in the Batman TV series, that Joker expresses a lot of different emotions, and that actually leads me beautifully into like some of like the more psychological
reasons why
maybe humans are a little bit more predisposed to finding something like what we understand modern day clowns to look like to be creepy.
Yeah.
So yeah, the painted faces, right? We've been talking about the makeup already, right? Yeah. And then wait till we talk about the makeup on the clowns and these killer clowns. Wait till we start talking about the
actual movie that we're talking about. You guys just wait.
Yes. This is actually going to be part 1 of a 3-part series.
All about killer clowns from outer space.
And wouldn't it be so funny if we had 9 hours worth of things to say about...
We'll be lucky if we have 2 hours to say.
Killer clowns from outer space. Okay, so anyway, the painted faces. You know, when you were talking about the tents get bigger, more of an audience.
The exaggeration that needs to take place. The exaggeration
of...
painting for the back row.
One emotion.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, because they need to be seen from far away. And then in parentheses in my notes, I wrote drag.
Yeah.
Right?
Paint for the back row.
And then the exaggerated features that sort of like mimic human features.
Right.
Right? You got the nose, the mouth, the eyes. But especially, apparently, this is like true. I was like reading some psychology articles about like fear of clowns and stuff. Like, it's especially the mouth, like when the mouth is too big or disproportional. Like there's something in our lizard brains.
Yeah.
What I refer to as my lizard brain, like that base instinct part of our brain kind of associates that with danger.
With predators.
With predators,
I mean, my first thought is a big T-Rex. Huge mouth, tiny eyes.
Yeah.
Tiny brain.
With predators, also, there's, I think, something, especially when clowns kind of give themselves, like, that white base. And then sort of the big exaggerated features, there's, like, something in our sort of, like, primal human brain that we still share with our ancestors tens of thousands of years ago, even though we like to think that we've evolved beyond it, but we just haven't, that it reminds us of something dead.
Right, yeah.
And just in general, kind of like, uh-oh.
And white people. Ugh.
Like, deathly pale white.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yes.
Yeah, well, and then there are the different painting traditions also.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That have different, like, colored themes and things like that. But yeah there's a reason why.
We really cannot stress enough how much we appreciate and respect clowning culture
that goes into it.
Even though we both understand very little about it.
I wish I knew more. Yeah. Honestly, I always wanted to go into the circus arts. I think I would be.
That
was always my dream as a child.
In college, you were all about tightrope walking.
I still want to know how to tightrope walk. No one will teach me.
There's also kind of like a psychological theory about the fact that the clowns with one rigid, exaggerated expression on their face kind of lacks a show of empathy.
Right.
And so, like, for humans, like, the reason why we've survived as a species is our ability to empathize and connect with other people and, like, survive together.
Yeah,
right?
We're a communal species.
So when someone's just got one fixed emotion, like that smile painted on their face, but maybe the mouth isn't smile, like it's neutral or like aggressive or something, right? It's like, why are you trying to hide your identity?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
it immediately puts us on guard for like,
what are your true intentions?
Yeah.
Right?
It makes us distrustful.
If you're not letting me see who you actually are, what are you going to do?
Which is true of any sort of person who wears like masks or heavy paint. You know, there's something about it that feels like distrustful because we really rely on seeing people's faces.
And that's actually
to read each other.
The last thing. Yeah, to be able to read each other and each other's facial expressions. But that's like the one last thing I wanted to mention is that we also understand, and this is back to a little bit more culturally, we understand that like clowns act unpredictably.
That's their whole thing.
And mischievously.
Chaotically.
A little chaotically.
A little trickster.
They've got the makeup and they even like dress unusual. So like,
and they can be really quiet sometimes, you know.
And then really loud.
Sneak up on you.
And
they got flowers that spurt water. Like what?
Yeah, they do like these.
Flowers are supposed to drink water.
They do these antisocial things.
Yep.
They do these things that sort of break our social rules of how we engage with one another.
Like drag.
Not unlike drag, because
also sometimes clowns do drag.
And also sometimes clowns do drag. And sometimes
drag artists do clowns.
Artists do clowns. Anyway, so that's kind of like where we're coming from.
And I think that's especially interesting in our movie where it isn't just painted faces, but it's like full on
that's what they look like.
Heads.
Yes.
Right? Because those are
yes.
They're like full on not paper mache, but
they're masks.
Yeah.
They're probably made of some kind of rubber, latex, or
something. Yeah. There's like no actual face in there.
No.
It's just all like painted to look like a face.
Like a demented clown face.
Yeah.
Right?
With an even, So they're like even more rigid than even like a clown with just face makeup.
People who do clown, like the makeup, is a big part of it. And there is sort of a general rule that you don't want hard angles. You want a soft, rounded edge. And when we see pictures of John Wayne Gacy as Pogo the Clown, his makeup is very pointy.
Oh, and it freaks us out.
And kind of the same with
that's what I was saying
Tim
about
Curry's Pennywise.
The
same
clowns
thing.
that seem freaky to me are the ones that have like jagged teeth or something like that. The pointiness.
Something
scary, evil clown masks tend to be pointier. They'll have like pointy mohawks or like the little triangles over the eyes.
Yeah, those kind of freak us out. So
interesting. I always have found circles more comforting than other shapes.
There's something about that. I don't know. Human brains are really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's just, I guess it's also just kind of that general uncanny valley thing. They're human, but they seem a little off from being human, which is very much the vibe of the clowns in this movie.
Yes.
Where they're like almost human, but they're clearly not human, so that makes it scarier.
And then we were talking about how like, damn, we probably should have ended Hot Alien Summer with Alien.
Yeah.
Instead of started it, right? And we're like, well, it's way too late now. And so we were kind of thinking, it's like, this movie is so much about the clowns and the clown shtick.
Yeah.
That like, what are we going to say about aliens?
What is the alien of the killer clowns from outer space?
Right.
What are they bringing from outer space?
So I was thinking about, okay, like we're going to talk a lot about clowns, but like we need to talk a little bit about aliens. And so I was thinking like, okay, in the horror genre, right, as the genre fan, I was just like thinking a little bit is like, where is, again, I present to you, I ask you to visualize a Venn diagram.
Yes.
Right?
It's in my head.
Of
so round.
One
Love
circle labeled
clowns
in horror movies, right? And then another circle labeled aliens in horror movies, right? And then what is happening
in that middle spot?
In that middle spot where those two overlap. So again, I come back to the thing that I never shut up about is like how horror movies help us like face our social anxieties and maybe even help us process trauma a little bit, right? So what do aliens represent in a horror movie? And I don't really think we've talked about this yet.
Like, I mean, foreigners.
Right, exactly. The unknown.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. But there's more.
Yeah.
Right? Well, because it's also like another phobia, astrophobia, is fear of outer space.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, I feel like a connected fear of like technology getting out of hand.
Absolutely.
Because you need that to get into outer space, or the aliens have technology that are beyond us.
Right. So yeah, obviously like baseline, the concept of extraterrestrial life is like mysterious. The fact that like we don't have that concrete knowledge to know about the aliens, especially like what are those aliens' intentions?
Yes.
Right? Just like clowns. So there's one.
Right, because that was one of my main questions in this movie. I was like, what are these clowns trying to achieve?
Right.
We'll talk about more. Because I don't know that it is just eating them.
I don't think it is either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was actually also a question I had when we were watching Alien. I was like, what does this xenomorph actually want other than death?
Yeah. And
is it just death?
Right. And it, again, I think...
And reproduction?
And reproduction. That's like to be able to reproduce. But then, see, this is the thing, is that like to bring it back to Alien, right? Because Ash is like... It is always like never shuts the fuck up about how the alien is like perfect,
the pure love,
like acts completely on instinct.
Yeah.
And again, it comes back to something that I also think we touched on in Nope, which is just like what makes humans human.
Yes.
Right. And it actually is, even though we currently exist in like a culture and a society that would prefer to think it's not, like it is empathy.
Yeah.
It is feelings and emotion. Like that is it. But like there are people who kind of fetishize, like if we can just remove everything illogical.
Well, I think also, yeah, like in line with that, like messiness.
Yes.
And like the ability to make mistakes
Yeah.
and not do things perfectly is what is so human. And like that almost puts the alien of Alien and the killer clowns
Xenomorph.
Of Killer Clown
Clowns with a K.
at kind of opposite ends of
Yeah.
perfection and like chaotic, messy imperfection of like they're both going in the wrong directions towards being human.
Order, chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like kind of representing these opposite ends to that. The perfect killing machine versus like the most chaotic little
Just could not be making more noise and attention.
and less sense at any moment.
Yeah.
Like there's such
wow.
like there's such opposites in a weird way.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah.
So exactly. And then also, again, this is sort of I think more of a psychological thing, is that like people who maybe are afraid of aliens or why aliens show up in horror movies for us to be scared of.
Yeah. Instead of just
is that,
friendly sci-fi aliens.
You know, their intentions like are unclear, which is unsettling because they might be like hostile or aggressive, especially because like that's how I think overwhelmingly aliens are represented in like at least American media, right?
Yeah.
Like War of the Worlds,
certainly
Independence Day.
Certainly in more horror stuff. I think when you get into
Cloverfield.
more sci-fi oriented stuff,
They get a little bit more.
well, especially because then you have a lot of aliens that are like a lot closer to being humans, or even are like have the mythology of the great human expansion that went across the galaxy or whatever. And so like everybody, and it's like, you know, like the aliens in Star Trek or Stargate.
Yeah.
You
And-
know,
well, I mean-
or even Star Wars are a lot more like human,
Yeah.
but also everybody we're dealing with is kind of alien.
Yeah. But like still recognizable
Yeah, and I think a key
as
part of
something
that
you could consider intelligent.
is communication.
Yep.
And that's why it's like such a big deal in Star Trek that like they have the little universal translator that they use. And I think Stargate originally just glossed over the fact that all of the aliens spoke English, and they were like, don't worry about it, they just do. Because we need them to, except for when we need them not to.
Yeah.
Because you need that communication for it to not automatically be an adversarial
Yeah.
relationship, because the moment you don't understand what the other is doing, it's very easy to read, you know, because of that mystery, very easy to read harmful intentions.
And the fact that human beings are the ones who have developed verbal speech
out of all of our, planet
of
Earth.
all the of everything else on planet Earth, including other primates who have like a similar evolutionary setup in their skulls.
And certainly other animals communicate, but not in
Absolutely.
that way.
Just in a different way. And like we communicate verbally, and it's nuts. Yeah, I always talk about the linguistics classes I took when I was in teacher school. They were fucking amazing.
I love linguistics.
Is nuts.
And I find it interesting that these killer clowns do not speak in a language that the characters can understand, or human characters can understand, except for the word pizza.
Except for the word pizza.
I figured that one out.
Yep. I noticed that too. Yeah, we get like media representations of aliens being hostile and aggressive, right? But yeah, like if you think historically, if you look back, like humanity's history of conflict, especially in the context of like showing up to a place that you've never been to before to maybe take resources through violent means.
I mean, that's some of that like colonization, invasion stuff that we were talking about in No.
So like it's sort of like a psychological thing, you know, maybe we can understand that like, well, we have this historical understanding of humans treating each other like shit.
So we can only assume that
If aliens were to come to us,
they would be the same.
why wouldn't they? Yeah, exactly. And then also, you said it, I think, is the technology aspect, right?
Yeah.
Especially the idea of extraterrestrials coming to us, meaning they have technology we don't
Right, because
have.
we can't get to them. We have
And-
not figured that out.
And now that they have that technology, what
It gives them an upper hand.
do they do with it? What can they do with it?
They have the power in that.
So our sense of safety and control in our environment gets questioned.
It's weird. I mean, a lot of people are talking about Superman right now because his movie just
that
came
movie's
out.
coming out. Yeah. Is Pedro Pascal in that movie?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think he is. He's in every other movie this summer, but not that one.
Okay. Yeah, he's in Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
No, and I'm just thinking about Superman as an alien, because he is one. He comes from the planet Krypton, of course. Yes. We all know this.
Yes.
And also is an immigrant story.
Yes.
Not jot that down.
Yeah.
But that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that power fantasy of Superman is that he imagines somebody who has all of that power and chooses to do good with it every single day.
And to serve humans.
And like, that is so hard for us to wrap our head around, to the point that Superman just being himself in this movie has a lot of like anti-woke boys being like, they've wokeified Superman because whatever dumb stupid reason, you know? And it's like, no, that's just who he is. He has a bunch of power and he always does the right thing with it. And that's like, that is the fantasy of Superman. And so like, it's so hard for us to imagine an alien species who could have so much more technology than us and would not want to come down and like take advantage of that and take advantage of us. Because I mean, because that's what especially Western white, you know, colonizers have done. They, you know, they had superior ships or whatever that allowed them to get there sooner.
Yeah, they had a fucking navy.
And then like they used that advantage to just fuck everybody else over. And like, we can't imagine somebody just being like, no, I have power and I'm going to use that to like
help
this poor pathetic little Earth planet.
Yeah.
You know, there aren't a lot of stories about that.
That is why I really, really enjoy that movie Brightburn, where it is kind of a Superman story.
Oh, that one where he's...
But then as the kid, this Superman
coded
alien kid starts to reach puberty, he starts to like use his powers to commit violent acts. And I'm like, but also
because that's what we imagine people would do whenever they have power.
But Superman has always been that way. Like
always
in the I remember learning about like one of the old like radio shows, the Superman radio shows in the 40s. They like used that radio show to like start ridiculing the Klan.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty woke of them.
Well, I mean, Superman
1940.
It's a Jewish story.
Yeah.
At its root.
Yeah.
So
and X-Men also kind of has that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, also X-Men.
Magneto was literally Jewish. Yeah. Survivor of the Holocaust.
And I mean, I understand that like X-Men is also sort of like a queer allegory
and a disability allegory. The problem with X-Men is that it's an allegory for everything, and thus not a very good allegory for anything. Right. Depends on who's writing it.
Exactly. Anyway, so this is the conclusion that I've come to. Clowns and aliens, right? So again, the Venn diagram.
In my mind.
Both, in a way, challenge our assumptions of safety.
Yeah.
Right? Because
they
we're
both
not sure what they're up to.
Something coming from the outside, because we imagine the traveling circus. And so this sort of unknown element, we can't communicate that with them in the normal way, either because we don't have the same speech or because their faces feel deceptive to us.
And most of our communication is nonverbal.
Yeah.
And it is in the face. So they kind of challenge our assumptions of feeling safe wherever we may be, right?
Yeah. They come into our town.
Yeah. And also challenges, again, our assumptions of what it means to be human, to have humanity or not, you know? And they both, especially, again, the presence of like extraterrestrial species coming to Earth, they both mess with the order. Yeah. They mess with society and like specific social rules.
And like, established order, power dynamics.
Yeah. And so if they're messing with the rules, like if we are living our lives every day under the assumption that we are this is the most intelligence that exists in the universe, and then one day that is immediately disproven, like, what do we do with that?
Right, yeah.
What else does that mean?
You know? What else are we wrong about?
So if the rules have no meaning, then chaos
reigns.
Yeah.
And
chaos reigns.
Yeah, and that's what clowns
also do.
And I'm going to talk about this more in our literary corner, but that's just kind of like the root of what clowns are all about, is just sort of like turning things on their head and subverting them.
Yeah.
Especially, power dynamics and hierarchies.
And making a joke about that thing you're not supposed to talk
joke about. Yeah.
So aliens also present like a larger existential threat because they challenge what we think we know about the order of the universe and humans' place in it. And clowns pose a little bit more of like a psychological or cultural threat.
Yeah.
And challenge like what we think about the social order that exists between people now.
Which makes these aliens very interesting because, like I said, they come into your town. But like, you know, most alien invasion stories have sort of a global, even if they're starting in one like city or something, the idea is that this is a global threat.
Yeah.
Like an Independence Day. This is the world's Independence Day, you know? Whereas in this one, I don't know, this is so like this one town. is getting harassed by these clowns.
Yeah,
the people in the next town over are like fine, and like the cops from that town are able to come over and like help out, you know, because the clowns are like
cops come at the end.
Yeah, that's who it is. Yeah, it's because like these clowns are not globally minded.
Yeah,
or at least they don't appear to be
there. No, they don't.
I mean, it's possible this is just their first stop and they're going to go all over the world, but it doesn't seem like it.
We're going to talk about it. I actually did notice that when we were watching it together. I noticed that this seems like a small town.
It does.
But it also seems like it's hopping on a Friday night.
My vibe.
Yeah.
Because the Officer Mooney mentions college at some point. And these seem to be like kind of college kids. Mm-hmm. My vibe was college, like a smaller college town.
Yeah. But I mean, like the kids up at the top of the world, they're like high schoolers.
Oh, I thought they were college kids.
I think they're all high schoolers.
Because Debbie used to go with Dave, and Dave's old enough to be a cop.
I mean,
and they 80s. Seem to be the same age. Yeah, I don't know. They seem the same age to me.
Anyway.
Debbie seems to be living kind of alone. Oh, and Mike makes the joke about her having roommates.
Yeah.
Which feels college to me.
College-y. All right, fine, whatever.
Though there could also be high schoolers up there.
Yeah. It's just in a lot of the synopsis, like the one sentence like explanation of the film, it usually says teenagers Mike and Debbie.
Yeah. And I guess I was thinking like 19-year-olds.
Yeah,
18, 19-year-olds.
Okay, never mind. Anyway,
I don't know.
So
a youth is technically anybody from age like 14 to 24 or something.
Is that a youth? Huh?
Yeah, something like that.
Fantastic. Okay. So it seems like kind of a small town.
Yeah.
But they do have a college.
Yeah, and those kids they find in the park are college kids.
Those kids.
We'll get to
them.
Do
they get names?
I think they're no.
They do.
They just get eaten.
They're the two college boys.
Yeah. Who are having a nice night in the park together.
Beautiful evening. They just wanted to have some wine.
And hang out together in the park.
Yeah. Okay.
I love them. They're my favorite characters.
Yeah, I know. They were done dirty. But it's just like, it's interesting because, you know, we get to go around town because we see the clowns wreaking havoc, right?
Yeah, that's true. We see like basically the whole town.
And like, it's hopping. Like,
it is kind of.
Big Top Burger is hopping.
Yeah.
That's also what I love about the commitment to the bit is that this town also has like a circus theme because the Terenzi brothers.
Oh, yeah. They have their Jojo
the ice cream clown.
Yeah.
So like the town
already is down to clown.
Maybe it's like some weird psychic energy they just like manifested.
Yes. Well, I mean, clowns. I also wondered if we can talk about this more when we get to like who are these fucking clowns.
Yeah.
But like one of my theories was just sort of like are they shapeshifters kind of, and they picked an aesthetic that they thought would blend in. Mm-hmm. And so they chose to look like clowns because they already saw clown energy.
Yeah.
You know, or imagery rather. Yeah. You know?
You just kind of scan it.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, there's clown face. We can do a clown face.
But then they also know that they need to look something like a clown and that their ship needs to look like a big top.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how much they could. I don't know. But I just thought of it in that one scene where one of the clowns sort of pretends to be like a sort of statue.
What
moving
interesting behavior.
I know.
Yeah.
Like intelligent.
Yeah.
Like they know they're capable of blending in. They know that clowns are a thing that exist here. What the fuck?
I know, man.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating. But then they also, but there are no balloon animals anywhere that we see, and yet they make a balloon animal dog.
Exactly.
And win my entire heart.
What would you name your balloon animal dog?
I don't know. My first thought was Pokey. I don't know. Because it's like one of those kind of ironic dog names.
Yeah. Like a dog with one eye named Lucky or something.
Yeah. The big dog named Tiny, you know? Yeah. I wanted to be Pokey.
Like a tiny little chihuahua
like
named...
Polka Dot.
There you go. Like a tiny little chihuahua named like Rex or something.
Yeah, I think it would be Pokey, short for Polka Dot.
I love it.
And speaking of dogs, there was also another dog that won my heart that we need to shout out because we always shout out the dogs.
Always.
Pooh.
Shout out Pooh Bear. Did you, just because you're the one who does the dog research, did you find out the name of that dog in real life?
I didn't look into it. I should have.
Yeah.
Oh, Pooh Bear.
R.I.P. Pooh Bear.
R.I.P. Pooh Bear. He did not deserve.
Yeah, that dog was a great actor.
That dog did great. Yeah. His owner had the appropriate amount of outrage when he turned around and found out that Pooh Bear was gone.
Yep.
And he was like, Pooh Bear, no. And then he just punched the tent.
Yeah, and then he says he's gonna like tear down the tent with his bare hands.
I was like, do it.
Yeah. And then he tries and he's like, oh.
Get your Pooh Bear back.
It was so cute.
So other than Pooh Bear, there are other characters. I mean, there is that farmer guy.
But that's other than the farmer guy, like, I think really only have 3 main characters.
We have 3 main characters, yeah. Maybe 4 if you count Mooney.
But I would say...
So but he's almost an antagonist.
Yeah, very much so. I was going to say we have, like, 3 main characters, and then I would say, like, a couple 3 supporting characters.
Yeah.
Because the Terenzi brothers.
Oh, yes, the Terenzi brothers. Yeah. I don't know why they leave my mind.
The Clowns.
And then the Clowns.
And that's kind of it.
Yeah, it's not... Yeah.
If you check out the cast list on IMDb or Wikipedia, it's very short.
Yeah.
But Royal Dano does get a credit because he's the one who played Farmer Gene Green. Yeah. Who lost his Pooh Bear. So...
Yeah, really set us up right for this film.
So there's just not really a lot of characters. Mm-hmm. And I think... because I'm going to blame the 80s of it all on the characters being pretty thin.
Mm-hmm. Can we also blame the 80s on the very uncomfortable Native American stereotyping that
the Indian chief joke,
Mike Tobacco does?
The eating disorder joke.
The intersex joke.
The intersex/trans/gender nonconforming joke. Yeah.
That whole situation. I was not left feeling kindly towards Mike Tobacco.
No, yeah. Well, first of all, his name's Mike Tobacco, right?
Yeah. And it was funny that was based on somebody that they actually knew in real life. There was a real person named Mike Tobacco.
I love it. Yeah, I feel like I've seen the last name Tobacco before. Anyway, I was thinking about it, or actually watched it again a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
and I was looking at Mike, and I'm like, damn, he is cute.
Yeah,
he's cute. Yeah. I think his smile's very charming. Yeah. And I like his sweater.
Yeah, I get what Debbie sees.
But yeah, he's also a fucking idiot.
Well, there's the line that I think Dave has about him. Well, it's really a dig at Debbie. That's like, it's obvious she goes for laughs, not stability.
Not stability, yes.
And it's like, first off, interesting line in a movie where clowns are the killers. Mm-hmm. You know, not laughs, not stability. She goes for laughs. Interesting. And then she gets taken by clowns. I don't know. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. Mm-hmm. But also, yeah, that is kind of what Mike's bringing to the table.
Yeah. Yeah,
because that he's like kind of a little jokester guy. He's making all those jokes, those very inappropriate jokes.
Yeah.
The
elephant without teeth joke was funny.
Yeah. That one was good. That was good. I'm sure back in the... No? I was going to say back in the 80s, those jokes hit, probably.
I think they probably did.
They probably did. Yeah. That seems like something my dad and his friends would... Especially the pretending to be like... an Indian yeah. I was like, yeah, I could see my dad doing that back in the 80s.
Yeah. Right. And so, yeah, Mike he's foolish in that way. He's kind of a jokester in that way.
Which is interesting as the protagonist in our film about clowns.
But
that, like, we need that energy, too, to battle its own self.
Yeah, but he also does, like... He does use that brain sometimes.
Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily that he doesn't have stability, too.
Yeah, I would just say
I wouldn't say it's an either or.
He never uses that brain to, like, listen to Debbie.
No, and he definitely should.
Yep.
I did see one thing that was, like, kind of suggesting that there was supposed to be sort of, like, a purposeful gender inversion happening between those characters.
Oh, between Mike and Debbie?
Mike is, like, the dumb blonde bimbo.
Oh.
And Debbie's the one who's, like, smart and aware that, like, they're getting into trouble.
Yeah, she's like all right, chief running at the mouth.
Let's do some action. Let's figure out what's actually going on.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, oh, what is this? A circus. How wonderful. You know? Which, I don't know. I mean, maybe that hit in the 80s. That didn't hit for me now because Debbie just sort of... Debbie didn't feel like she was breaking any sort of stereotypes.
No.
You know?
I mean, she, like, literally has to be rescued by 2 men.
Yeah. I do like there was the part when she first realizes that they're in a spaceship, not a carnival tent, that she kind of aggressively manhandles Mike.
Yes.
And he's just like, nope. You know? So I did like that. I liked that she was a little bit like, yeah, Dave, I used to be with you. And now I'm with Mike. And that's that.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like, yeah, what about it?
What about it?
That doesn't mean we can't still, like, talk.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we have to be weird about it.
Yeah.
Let's just chill out. I'm going to go take a shower. Bye.
I got to wash out
and the shower is going to be
hairspray.
So goddamn long because I have, a ton of hairspray in my hair.
Right. Well, yeah, because that is something funny that Mike says when they find the big top spaceship.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's the circus doing all the way out here?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Mike, honey. Like,
let's follow that thought to its conclusion. And like
sweetie.
I said when we were watching that, like, yeah, if I came upon a circus tent in the middle of the woods, I would assume that it was like where they were staying or they were keeping some out of their storage. I wouldn't assume it was a public-facing circus tent.
Ready for you to
yeah,
just go
I would assume
into.
this was one of their private circus tents.
Right, but, I mean, yeah, like the kind of tents and like wagons
Yeah, that
they
they would
have.
need.
Like, they wouldn't have like a big top. They would
Right.
have just
I know.
their own,
It wouldn't really
be
make
that
sense.
flashy,
but it just, yeah, because it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense that it's out there. So obviously something weird is going on.
Yeah.
And I would not conclude aliens, but Mike should have.
Also, yeah, Debbie just really gives me damsel in distress.
She does end up doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting how much the clowns want her.
Yeah, the clowns are very
Like, they're-
interested in her.
Yeah.
Kind of the way Mike and what's his name?
Dave.
Dave
are-
Hansen. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all just kind of obsessed with Debbie.
Yeah, I even wrote in my notes, like, is she just there to be in a love triangle between Mike and Dave?
Yeah, and then
'Cause
also to
Mike-
be an object for the clowns to go after.
Yeah, because Mike and Dave do end up teaming up and working quite a bit together.
And just having their hands all over. Do you want to read my notes that I wrote specifically about Mike and Dave?
yes, please.
In order. Mike definitely fondled Dave's shoulder when he got scared.
Fondled.
Mike and Dave are getting very comfortable with touching each other. Polyamory vibes at Debbie's rescue. Both guys holding her and them all watch each other's backs.
I did see
Dave
that.
has his hands just all around Mick's waist.
Yep, I saw that.
Dave getting hugs from both his boyfriend and his girlfriend. Those were my notes about Mike and Dave.
Very much, yeah. But also, actually, Debbie has a line that stood out to me, and maybe it's just nothing, you know? But she does say kind of at the beginning of the movie, she says, I don't believe in UFOs.
Yeah.
And that's a weird line because it's like, well, first of all, Debbie, you don't believe in a flying object you can't identify. Like, it's pretty broad term.
Yeah, I'm sure she's using a shorthand for aliens.
Yeah, for aliens, yeah.
But yeah, I think she is supposed to be our more like logical, grounded one who can be more sensible about what's going on, and therefore, I guess in the 80s, more quote unquote masculine. You know, because the idea of masculine equals logic.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, there is a lot of like ridiculous gender stuff in this movie.
There's so much ridiculous
in
gender
the
stuff.
Humans and the clowns.
I got snaps for the fact that we have like a lover's lane sort of thing. What
Top
was
of
it?
the world.
Top of the world, yeah. And that the clowns, of course, get all of the kids that are up there.
Yeah, immediately.
All of those teens are
Yep.
gone. The only ones who get away is Debbie and Mike because they leave the top of the world to do something, I guess, technically more wholesome, which is chase after Haley's Comet. Which is actually a spaceship.
And then we also have the Terenzi brothers.
The Terenzi brothers are doing a lot.
Like, they're doing a lot
to get girls.
They say they're trying to get laid.
They tell the girls that they can have as much ice cream as they want just so that they'll ride around with them and then complain that they're eating too much ice
and then
cream.
get mad at them for eating ice cream.
Just because I assume the girls aren't actually putting out because they were told they could eat ice cream, so they're eating ice cream.
Hell, yeah.
That's what I would be doing.
Yeah.
I can't kiss you right now. I'm eating ice cream.
An ice cream.
Hello.
Yeah, they don't treat women with very high regard.
No.
I mean, they're nice enough to Debbie. But I think
true.
they're nice enough to Debbie because she's Mike's girlfriend.
Mike's girl, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a Mike's girl thing.
Yeah. And they end up
meet the only lady clowns.
They end up meeting the two lady clowns, right? And they get distracted by the lady clowns during the climax of the film.
Yes, so they
And then
miss it.
Yeah, they miss everything. And then they show up at the end, just like for the end.
Yes. To just be covered in big kiss marks.
Yeah.
And like no explanation for what happened, how they got away from the killer clowns.
Yeah.
Are the lady clowns not killers, just kissers?
How did it feel to be kissed by those kinds of lips? Because they're like huge, right? They're clown lips. So what's up with that?
I don't know. Maybe I didn't even think about that part.
Yeah.
Are they in like a ball pit?
Yeah.
Yeah. That it is a big sensory experience.
It's a lot there. Yeah.
And they're just fine. And they just show up and they're fine. Like, did they have to fight to get out? Or this goes back to one of my other theories that the clowns are here for some sort of reproduction purposes. But I don't know. There's like, because like, their obsession with like finding Debbie, like they're specifically going after her. Like they did that little popcorn and tracked her, you know, they didn't care about Mike.
Yeah, he got popcorn on him too.
Yeah, and he didn't get like tracked down.
Yeah.
And like catching them with the balloons. And we also hear on the police station line that like a man's wife was taken away by a balloon too. So it's like women are being taken away in balloons instead of killed.
Yeah. Well,
just women
are also being killed.
They are also being killed, but some of them were special and they're being ballooned and kept alive.
And Debbie is one of them.
And then there are the lady clowns who don't kill the boys, but keep them for a while.
Yeah.
And that also further confuses me because I thought maybe the popcorn gun was also how they reproduce because they made baby clowns also.
It is.
So then I'm like, what is happening here? Why do they want these girls? Why do the girl clowns want these boys? I don't like it.
Right. Did you know that those two female clowns have names?
Oh, what are they?
Their names are Daisy and Rosebud.
Oh. Yes. One thing I will say about the Transy brothers that I actually really appreciate is that, like, you can't not hit a big red button.
I know, right?
Like, I was with them. I saw that red button.
And I was like, I want to push
who's going to do that?
out of that button.
They are the people that everybody needs in a D&D group.
Yes, yeah.
The person who will push that big red button.
Yeah.
That the GM's like, have you seen this big red button I've got right here? Would you like to press it? It will send you down into a ball pit trap with lady clowns.
Shiny red button.
It's a big red button. You've got to press it.
Well, but that's actually... Wait, is that what happens? Because remember, one of
when
the
they
Terenzi
disappear?
brothers presses the button, and then a big thing of steam shoots up.
Oh, yeah,
and
that was the
gets
steam
Mike.
part. That was the steam part.
And then
how did they end up with the lady
I don't
clowns?
remember how they end up in the ball pit with the lady clowns. I'm sorry. But it is around that point,
It is somewhere in there. That's around when they all get separated.
Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know. Yeah, why do they have a big red button that just produces steam? Why do they have big red buttons on their faces, which is their noses, that are instant kill shots? I have a lot of questions about these clowns.
Yeah.
But we haven't even talked about the cops.
We haven't even talked. Well, we actually did. We talked about David Hansen.
That's true.
So we've got this movie has a classic good cop, bad cop setup.
Yeah.
Officer David Hansen is our good cop, and Officer Curtis Mooney is our bad cop.
And I guess, speaking of their big red noses that are their auto-destruct buttons, of course, it's Dave using his police badge to poke the big Jojo the Clownzilla in the nose to destroy that clown. And for some reason, the entire spaceship, when he does that, like, of course, it's the symbol of authority and order that puts to rights these clowning wrongs.
But Officer Mooney is a son of a bitch.
Officer Mooney is, like, really ageist against teens.
Yeah, he resents
to the point that's like,
kids.
Yeah,
He
it's not just like, you know, ruffians getting up to trouble or whatever. It's just sort of like any teenager or young person, any college kid. He's just like, I automatically hate you and think that you're a criminal and you're bad.
Yeah.
With
he even says when he's in the police station all by himself, he's like mumbling about how he like, you know,
it's scum like you that are killing this town is something he says about the college kids.
But he also like, but he says it to them.
Oh, yeah.
But then he's like, when he is, to me is the most ridiculous thing, when he's getting call after call.
Yes.
Of like, hey, people dressed like clowns or clowns, something, like, are wreaking havoc, like they took my wife, blah, 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 blah. And he's just like,
obviously, it's the young people.
Yeah.
Playing a prank on me specifically.
On him specifically, yes.
And paranoid motherfucker.
Yeah, he's very self-absorbed in that way.
Yeah, but you're right. That part when he calls them all rich bastards and says that he'd shoot them all if he could.
Yes, and also he says something about, their rich parents just
sends them to fancy school
and thinks the cops will just babysit
them. Yeah. Like, he really has a certain way of seeing.
He should probably retire.
Yeah. When he's roughing up those college kids for literally no reason, for being in a park with some wine.
Yeah.
Because it's a lovely evening.
On a beautiful evening.
Perhaps just gonna have a wonderful night under the stars.
Yeah.
What's so wrong about that?
Nothing.
And then Dave, the other cop, is like, hey, dude, no, don't.
Oh, that's right. He says you can't do that. And then he says, like, he had a training or something.
Yeah.
And then Mooney's like, I don't give a fuck about your training.
Yeah,
like,
and then
indicating that he has not been received any training.
And then he even is like, basically accuses Dave of only caring about these kids because he has a thing for them. He's like, you have a thing for these students. I'm like, what is happening, Mooney?
Maybe that's sort of like him telling on himself. Like,
I don't
a thing
know.
For the students,
yeah,
you know,
it's weird. What's the other thing he says that really got? Oh, to the one of the clowns, which, like, okay, fair.
Yeah,
you don't know that these clowns are evil killer clowns. but I guess you should be treating them aggressively, but you think it's just a normal guy, a normal teen playing a prank.
Yeah.
And you say, and I quote, "I'm supposed to read you your rights, but you're in Mooney's jail and you ain't got no rights."
That's right. Yeah.
Mooney,
woof.
you should not be, I mean, ACAB, nobody should be doing this job, but you should not be doing this job.
Did you also notice they do make mention that Mooney is a Korea vet? A Korean War vet.
Yeah.
So probably got some PTSD.
Yeah.
He is kind of like...
So then go to therapy.
No, that doesn't matter. So, and he does seem to be like towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
Seems like an older guy.
And is it just him and Dave?
Right, that's the thing. Like when we were talking about that this town seems kind of small, like there's literally two cops and there is a captain who's just off for the weekend.
Right. They talk about
like
that.
this is a 3-cop
town when it's a college town.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah, but okay, you know.
Yeah. I
and
wonder what kind of balancing force that captain is between Dave and Mooney.
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll never know.
We'll never know. Mooney is dead, and what a kill!
That was good. Yeah.
I do think that was like, in terms of the quote unquote scary parts of this movie, that is not a horror movie really at all.
Yeah.
Literally turning a man into a ventriloquist puppet.
That was scary. That was creepy.
And talking through it.
Yeah.
Somehow when the dude is dead.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to be able to communicate really otherwise except to say pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
It brought me back actually to Independence Day too, when the alien gets the scientist guy up against the window and is like talking through it.
Through him, yeah.
That's my favorite scene
in
that fucking movie.
It's been a while since I've seen Independence Day.
I love Independence Day. It was one of my comfort films when I was a kid.
That's weird.
Anything with Jeff Goldblum was a comfort film.
Well,
it was
he's
like that and Lost World, Jurassic
and you
Park.
also know that the movie ends well.
Yeah,
they overcome it. Mooney just has something going on with him.
Yeah,
because he again literally getting call after call after call to the police station.
Yes,
for help, and he's like, the Terenzi brothers put you up to this, and like. The entire town
because of two brothers,
right?
Who are fucking idiots.
Yeah, what he says,
and a lot of the people. I mean, he doesn't even know. A lot of people in this town make fun of the Terenzi brothers.
Yeah, they're also fools.
When they come with the ice cream, all the kids
are like, "Get out of here!"
They're just like, "None of us want ice cream. Leave us alone. We're making out.
Yeah, we're trying to make out
on our raft, blow up raft we have in the back of our car."
I thought that was pretty.
I know,
good ingenuity.
It was creative.
And then, like, he even continues to believe that this is a joke being played specifically on him. When a killer clown shows up and walks right in front of him.
Yes.
He still thinks it's a joke.
Just like one of the Terenzi brothers or whatever in a costume.
Yeah.
He like doesn't even get it after he's like kind of locked him up and is like starting to get a little scared and like the hand trick and stuff. And he still is just like, yep, well, we're going to lock you in here.
Well, that's actually what gets him. That's supposed to be what kills him is he blows the whistle, and then it's supposed to be a hand that like grabs him, and that's supposed to be what kills Mooney,
right?
And then like he uses
his corpse as a puppet, which kisses,
good,
commitment to the bit.
Yeah, they even put like blood on him to make him
look like the little clown mouth. I mean, the little puppet mouth. Yeah, so fucking good. That's what I'm talking about. This movie is genius.
Yeah, and like even when that clown that walks right up to him starts doing like weird shit, he's just like gets even more angry.
Yeah, he
just gets angry.
It's one of those. It's that thing where when you have such a strongly held belief, even seeing evidence to the contrary actually just makes you hold on to that belief even stronger.
Yeah,
the fact that you're being challenged is what makes you hold on tighter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like he very much had those vibes. Yeah. He was a very like reactionary kind of guy.
Well, he's dead now.
He's dead and
but yeah, like what he says to the when the man calls and says, "My wife was taken away in a balloon," and he's like, "Your wife was taken away in a balloon."
Yeah,
and he says something like, "Buddy, you don't need a police officer. You need a psychiatrist."
Yeah, and like maybe you do. Mooney.
So he does know psychiatrists exist. That's good.
But he thinks they're only for super
people having hallucinations.
Like, psychotic breaks and stuff. No. And so it's just very interesting that we were saying with these clowns as being these sources of chaos and like the unknown and the messiness and all of that.
And the disruption of the social order.
The disruption of the social order. The symbol of social order, the cops, like completely fall apart.
Yeah, they can't. It's just two of them. They can't agree on anything.
Mooney doesn't even believe that it's a situation that he needs to be taken care of.
Right.
Dave only cares about his ex-girlfriend and fondling her new boyfriend. But then, yeah, he still gets that imagery at the end with his badge where he, saves the day with his police badge. So it's there comes order writing itself again.
And the noses that he shoots off with his police
gun. Yeah, nobody else can actually do anything to harm the... Does anybody else get a kill on any of the clowns?
I don't think so.
I'm trying to think. Does Debbie or Mike ever pick up a... Because I feel like if you hit them with a good, hockey stick or whatever these teens have around.
Yeah, right?
A skateboard right in the nose. Come on.
It does look pretty fragile.
Yeah, and then it's even in the face of, I don't know, I think we are kind of moving into talking about the clowns, and I think what I find most interesting about the clowns is the way that, social orders devolve, even sort of extra legal social orders, like the biker gangs. Biker gangs tend to have a bit of a hierarchy kind of vibe. They have codes and shit like that, and even they can't really withstand the
a set of expectations.
The silly little clown, the shorty one, coming up on his little tricycle or whatever he's on, and getting just one punched head straight off.
Yep.
By that tiny little clown in his little boxy gloves. This movie is so good, you guys.
It's so funny.
This movie's good.
Right. So here's what I watched, a little YouTube thing about explaining the clowns, and there are 30 of them. There are 30 different clowns. But because this is what we would call probably a B movie, right? It's pretty low budget. And so I think one of what I found out is something that I find really cool, which is that the creators basically just did sort of swapping of masks and costumes to create another clown.
This one's different now.
Yeah, it'd be take this one's outfit and that one's face, and then there are
add boobs to this one.
Yeah, right. There are multiple. Yeah, green mohawk, orange hair. Yeah, that kind of thing. Mess with the hair a little bit, and there are clowns with almost identical. The masks are almost identical, just the makeup's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So, really clever way to stretch it out and get 30 clowns.
And I think that's something we haven't done yet, which is shout out the Chiodo brothers.
Who,
wrote and directed and did this. They were mainly just special effects guys.
Yeah, Charles Chiodo plays
Jojo the Clownzilla. Yeah.
Yep.
I guess it was originally supposed to be stop motion, but they just couldn't budget-wise make that happen.
No, probably
So they're we'll just make a tiny set and big clown.
Yep. Right. So there are 30 different clowns, and as we already mentioned, only 2 of them are women.
Yes.
And there is also one Clownzilla.
Yes. So who is the ruler of the clowns?
Right. They seem to be afraid of him, but also revere him.
Yes. Which is why the Terenzi brothers are able to trick them for a second, because coincidentally, their ice cream truck is also Jojo the Clown. What are the chances?
What are the odds?
That's very fool behavior, archetype fool behavior on the Terenzi's part.
Yes. Everybody's a fool in this movie.
That is
in a way. Yeah. So the fact that there are 30 different clowns, but only 2 of them are women, and then there's one big Clownzilla, kind of does indicate a lot to us about these clowns' culture.
Yes.
And the way their society functions.
And the 2 lady clowns.
Yes.
Stay indoors.
Yes.
Hidden.
They do not leave the spaceship at all.
There might even be more lady clowns. We just don't happen to see them.
Yeah. Well, and we also
just kept away from sight of male.
We
folk.
don't know if those lady clowns prefer to stay in the ship or if they're being told.
We also
to
don't
stay
know
put
if those lady clowns aren't just boy clowns in drag.
We also don't know that.
Because that is common in clowning.
It is common. Also, the fact that the boobs inflate also gives drag.
Yeah. So, I mean, their femininity is over the top. To the point where, any of the other clowns could also technically be women. Nothing about them says that they aren't.
That's true.
Women.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their costumes are kind of agendering enough.
Yeah, they're just big,
non-gendered,
poofy jumpsuits.
Yeah,
with big poofy collars.
Do killer clowns from outer space even have gender in the way that we would conceive of, or sex?
Yeah, right.
Characteristics or anything like that. We don't fucking know.
Yeah. Well, we do know some things about them, though.
Yes.
So it's interesting because we were talking about how with clowns, you know, the big mouth, we kind of maybe associate that with like a predator, right? And so I really like, again, commitment to the bit, the way that they incorporate predator traits into what the clowns do. So like when they trap their prey in the cotton candy, it's very spidery, right?
Yes, they cocoon them.
They seem to dissolve.
Yeah,
and then
drink them
through a crazy straw, of course.
The craziest of crazy straws I've ever seen in my life.
So
good.
Spiders. I don't know if you noticed.
I mean, even just the tracking they do
Yes.
with their little dog.
Yeah.
Is very,
I don't know if you noticed, but they all, or I think quite a few of them, are wearing like cat pupil contact lenses. So their eyes look like cat's eyes, which are predators. And of course they have sharp teeth, which is, you know,
you got it.
Classic predator.
And evil clown. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they dispose of their prey in multiple ways. It can be liquefied in cotton candy.
Yeah.
They can be turned into popcorn.
Is that what happens?
That's what happens with the puppet show.
Oh.
Yeah, the clown who does the puppet show, and then he does the little monster, and he takes them, and then they disappear, and then he opens his hands.
Oh yeah, and there's
popcorn, and then they put it in the bag.
I did not understand that was what was.
I know
the popcorn was really confusing.
The popcorn is very.
I was like,
confusing.
what is this? Is it a tracking device?
Yeah.
No, it's turning into mini clowns. What are these mini clowns? The same species as the big clowns? Or are these a separate? But
that is my theory that those are adolescent killer clowns.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
So,
but then what are they keeping some of them alive for in the
exactly.
balloons?
So, why are some people turned into cotton candy cocoons?
Why are some people popcornized?
Why are people turned into popcorn? And why are some only women
that we can
turned into balloons?
Oh,
or rather trapped in a balloon. They're not turned into a balloon, but you know what I mean. Yeah, and I also noticed, like, in my notes that, like, they do behave in a really interesting way. Like, they know to blend in with their surroundings.
Yeah, they're, like, smart.
To remain unnoticed when they want to be unnoticed.
Also, talk about the weird, like, sex stuff. They have knowledge of sexuality in a weird way, like with their puppet show of, like, it is just a tale of, like, no means no.
Yeah, right.
You know? And then also, like, them showing up with pizza to, like, a woman who's, like, kind of scantily clad is, like, classic porno. Like, that's the joke porno thing of the pizza guy.
That's true.
And that's the one word they know is pizza. Yeah, so, like, they know what they're doing. And, like, yeah, there seems to be, in terms of their goals, like, yeah, obviously they are just eating. That was one of the Trenzi brothers' theories, I think, right? That they were just stopping by to, like, get a snack on their way to somewhere else. Yeah,
so Paul Terenzi postulates that they're just making a pit stop in Earth in, like, a bigger trip, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Rich Terenzi postulates that their planet is dying off and they're looking for a new
planet.
So
which is a classic
kind of colonizer thing.
Thought of, exactly. Like you were saying, our classic fear of aliens being colonizers.
What Mike says is he, like, names the ancient astronaut theory, which is, again, ancient aliens.
Yeah,
right?
Which is bullshit.
So that's but I have it right here. You know? Yeah. So it's a pseudoscience. It's a theory that asserts that humans have been visited by aliens many times throughout the history of humankind, like into the distant past.
It was just, like, so early that we didn't have a language for it
to understand or communicate in the future that that's what happened.
It goes with the idea of Jean Jacket being a biblical angel.
Yeah, right. And that, the visitations by these aliens since, ancient times
have infected our culture in different ways.
Yeah, have shaped our history and our culture. And it's possible, I actually don't remember if Mike says this, but I saw it on the Killer Klowns wiki, and I personally like it. The idea that, like, the only reason humanity does still exist, in spite of the fact that the killer clowns exist, is that the clowns are keeping them there to, like, keep humans reproducing. Yeah, so there is something about, like, reproduction happening. Yeah,
that they're cattle. That they're a food source, and you want that to keep. Yeah, you don't want to eat it all up. That'd be stupid. You don't want to waste it all.
Yeah.
It's also so then the idea also is that, like, the reason why we have clowns is because we've based our clowns on them. Rather than the other way around.
Yes.
Which is interesting, because that means the first time they showed up would have been in, like, the 1880s or something.
Right. Is that how
no,
long?
I guess earlier than that.
Maybe a little earlier, but not much.
But like, yeah, like the 19th century is when we started having clowns that
definitely
looked
not earlier than that.
specifically like that. We had other things like clowns, which I'll get to into my literary corner, but like the clowns that look like that and have those sort of carnival-esque trappings are like pretty modern. Pretty modern.
Yeah. So, exactly.
So they aren't very ancient, these aliens.
No, they are not ancient aliens. Yeah, but that is like an interesting idea, right? And also, like, I could think about it from like the opposite side where maybe they're actually not that clownish, but like we're perceiving them as clowns because that's like what's easiest for us to understand them as.
That there's something
but they are just aliens.
Psychic happening. Like that they are meeting us psychically where we are.
Right. And that is actually, so again,
like the TARDIS.
We talked about this a little bit over the course of, like the TARDIS, a little bit over the course of Hot Alien Summer, that there's a lot of like alien lore out there, but like that, and I'm not that well versed in it, but that is one theory that I have an appreciation for, that like when we are having contact with extraterrestrials, but they are presenting themselves psychically in a way that we can understand them as something else,
so
right?
We don't like register them as,
and you don't freak out, and go crazy or something, whatever, So we get like these lore drops. Yeah. Like, what are these aliens? What do they want?
That's my biggest question, especially in those moments where it's like, okay, you said that those are the ways that they dispose of them.
Yes.
But the one that really kind of freaked or like tripped me out was like, why'd they drive that one dude off the road? That just seems wasteful. Did they go and grab him later? They just drove him off the side of the road.
I think
that's just so wasteful.
Right.
Also, actually, the dude that they one punch.
That guy was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, also,
so he was provoked.
You need to remember, though, that at like the beginning of the film, when Mike and Debbie make it into the spaceship, there's already cotton candy cocoons. Yeah. Like, so maybe they're like, we have enough food, and now we're just kind of having
some
fun.
Chaos.
Sort of like the way cats do in a way.
Yeah. I mean, because that's the other place where we really see that is in the drugstore.
Yeah,
they spend a lot of time just fucking around. At first I was like, oh, they're looking for something. No, they're just fucking around. They're playing with shaving cream and stuff because, of course, they are the clowns.
Yeah, they're throwing
like,
stuff
they don't
on the
even
ground.
eat the guy who works there for a while.
Just shoot him.
Like, they get to him eventually, but for a long time he's there just being like, oh, what's
he's definitely in a freeze response.
Yeah.
He could have ran, but he was frozen.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
And it's just like, what are they doing?
Right. And like you already mentioned it, like Mooney becomes their puppet. And so like that is when they can communicate, because we understand that they're speaking an alien language. Again, we hear one say pizza.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And then really, but like the only time we hear them
communicate
speak English,
in a way that we can understand,
is through Officer Mooney when he's already dead. And then when there's one behind the door, like imitates Mike's voice to get Holly to open the door.
Right.
Holly. Who's Holly?
I don't know.
Debbie to open the door.
Yeah.
And then it's just like Debbie. One. Yeah. So they are
because they're ventriloquists too.
I wonder if they're ventriloquism is an aspect of clowning.
Do you remember what they say when they have Mooney? It's just sort of like threats, right?
Yeah, it's basically like, we're going to kill you.
Yeah.
And
so they don't even communicate anything useful to understanding them, which I guess is very them.
Yeah, right.
To just be like, we're fucking chaos.
Yeah.
You're not going to understand us.
They're clowns.
We're alien clowns. We are unknowable.
Right. So, yeah, it is. Or maybe like they're fast learners and they're like picking up on the language, and so they pick up pizza real fast.
I mean, how quickly that one clown saw people coming and was like, I'm gonna just pretend to be a display piece.
I can see this animatronic right next to me. I'll just be another one.
Or like the one at the big top who's like trying to lure that kid over.
Oh yeah! Oh my God,
just like, I'm just a clown.
Yeah, come here.
It'll be fun.
But then that clown also has a comically large mallet. Yeah, terribly hidden behind his back. You can see it.
And I love when the girl like gets called away from her by her parents or whatever. The clown's just sort of like, shucks.
Shucks. Yeah, not me.
I was gonna get that kid. It's like, you could probably go in there and kill all these people.
Yeah.
But it sort of seems like you kill this entire town.
It almost
the amount of fucking cocoons they have.
Right. It almost seems like part of it is like a hunt.
Yeah, they're having
unlike
fun.
A cat or a spider. right?
They're just having fun with it. And like a cat, with a mouse. They're playing with their food.
Right.
And I also find it interesting that despite all of this chaos, they do have some sort of hierarchy, or at least one clown that rises above the rest. That one clown who is very upset when he finds out the Terenzi brothers are trying to usurp his authority.
Oh, yeah.
Jojo the Clownzilla.
Yeah.
He gets real big mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you guys are little chaos beings. And yet you also have like a leader. Or is he just the biggest? He's not really a leader. He's just the biggest.
How do you get a killer clown
But he's big enough that when he blows up, it blows up the entire ship. Maybe he is the ship. Whoa, aliens.
So here's, I think now's a good time for me to just lay out that I think that they do not destroy the ship at the end.
Oh.
That they just send it
on
its way. And they're like, fuck this.
Blow it into space.
See you later, suckers. Because also remember at the very end, the very last thing that happens.
Oh, the pie falls.
Yes. When they're like, you think they're gone, and Mike's like, yep. And then
the pie falls right in their face.
The pie falls, and then the song plays again. And then, so we see them like act differently and also similarly to humans. But we also kind of already talked about like their gender relations seem pretty similar.
Unless they're just play acting that too.
Or they,
Is that just part of the like performativeness of their behavior?
Right. I found this. So I want to read something to you from the Killer Klowns wiki.
Sure. Yeah.
It's also possible that the females prefer to remain in the safety of the ship. Mm-hmm. That maybe just the females are more peaceful than males. Mm-hmm. Right. Maybe, or maybe again, it's cultural. The male clowns are allowed to hunt and fight.
Yeah.
And the females are forced to stay on the ship. And then the last line says, only the Chiodo brothers know for sure. And I was like, that's true, right?
And we never did get as, like, there were ideas for sequels. There were ideas for TV shows.
There's a video game.
Yeah, there is a video game. Yeah, but like, there's a lot of merch. But the franchise did not flesh out in the way that I bet the Chiodos could have made it flesh out.
Right. Oh, yeah. Like, if this came out like 10 years ago, it would be big. It would be like big IP for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my theory about like what is up with these aliens. So you already mentioned like you think they're maybe using them for like reproduction purposes.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. So that was my concern. That was my fear.
Okay. Yeah.
The deep held fear that I had was like, why are they saving only these women?
Right.
And why did the girl ones not kill the Terenzis?
Yeah. And honestly, I think that's why.
Like there is a gender sex thing going on in this movie in general.
So I think that this is how the killer clowns procreate, not unlike the xenomorph, in a very parasitic way, where
to make the popcorn.
They have to turn people, humans, or maybe other beings, I don't know,
who knows,
into popcorn.
And that's like their little baby eggs.
And then the popcorn needs to gestate
in a laundry hamper.
1 shower's length of time.
A pretty lengthy shower, I will admit. Shower, yeah. Like Mike and Dave get a lot of fondling done in that time.
And then you can see that. And so we actually get one scene with the little popcorn clownlings.
Yes.
Where we don't actually get to see them. We just see the clown put the popcorn in the dumpster.
The dumpster, and the guy goes out.
Comes to throw it, and then like, falls in and screams.
For some reason, he's like, what's it, that in the dumpster?
Yeah, and he like goes to investigate
into the dumpster.
And then gets
I don't want to. I would like rats.
Yeah,
raccoon.
Yeah,
nothing I need to put my face near.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah, and then he gets pulled in, and we just hear him go ah. But then also we see the popcorn with Debbie.
Yeah,
and so I think they gestate for some period of time, whatever, and then they start to develop into killer clowns. So like you can see like they're starting to develop their hair and mask shape.
Yeah,
and they're kind of wormy a little bit.
It felt
and
very
I think that's
like
just part of the development.
It just sort of made me think of like Beetlejuice. Like that was kind of the
sandworms,
the animation vibe of them. You know?
Yeah, I see that. They are maybe like specifically collecting women to turn them into female clowns.
Maybe
just because there really only seem to be
maybe they need more ladies.
But if they're only male clowns, how
do they need ladies?
Do they need ladies?
If they're just shooting popcorn guns,
right?
To make more.
But they also...
But then they have... why do they have sexual dimorphism at all? Like, why do they have men and women clowns?
Exactly.
If they seem to reproduce asexually.
Basically.
Huh.
But they reproduce asexually
through impregnating or through turning people into
popcorn.
Which I guess is the
Katie, I don't know what you don't understand. I feel like this is clear as day. Right, so they turn into popcorn, and then the popcorn just needs a little bit of time.
Yeah, but then, why are there boy and girl clowns?
But that's the thing, is the ratio's way off.
The ratio's way off.
Maybe on their home planet there's more girls?
Or maybe they are all one, like, sex.
Yeah.
And they just choose to present however they want, and it just so happens that they had two of them who are, like, just filling that vibe.
Yeah, who are like, I'm going to have balloons.
Maybe those are clowns that were out there also causing chaos and then came back to cause chaos by putting on fake breasts.
Right.
Because they are blow-up balloon breasts.
Not killing the Terenzi brothers.
So fucking weird.
Just kissing them.
Unless they did something to get out of that, but, like, we don't know. It seems like they just had a good time. Right. They don't say otherwise, but they do.
Maybe, what about this?
Okay,
what
yes.
if oh God, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Okay.
I'm so ready.
So the lady clowns,
yes,
right?
Yes.
They smooch on the Terenzi brothers, leaving comically large kissing marks all over their face.
Beautiful,
and
love
necks.
it. Classic, such a good movie.
And then after a little bit of making out, they're both like, okay, we're good for the night, and like they're not going to put out because like the Terenzi brothers just can't get laid. Yeah. And like those female clowns are also like the female humans.
We're just like, oh.
You said we could have as much ice cream as we wanted.
Yeah.
And then, and what does the Terenzi brothers say? Like, keep your shirt on. And she's like, we intend to.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just like a repeat of the situation
that would have been such a good scene, honestly. If they're like, wow, we can't even get laid by the fucking clown monsters.
A clown from outer space, yeah.
I actually love that.
Who may or may not have gender or sex.
Yeah. Who knows if they have bodies underneath those clothes or if those clothes are their bodies. Like, we don't even know anything about these clowns.
Exactly. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
In a very sort of open-ended film as to like the nature of these killer clowns.
Because so much of what clowns do is fuck with the normal order.
Yeah. I wrote this.
And that includes gender and sex.
Yep, absolutely. I wrote down, clowns are fools. Fools transgress.
Yes.
They do things normal people can't do.
Oh my God. Let's get into my literary corner because that's what I want to talk about.
Literary corner. That's bad. I can just do it regular.
Corner from... No, I can't do it.
Literary corner from outer space. That's the best I can do. All right. Okay. I can't wait.
Okay.
Tell me about clowns.
Yes. This thesis is entitled "Clowns, Trickster Gods, and the Slasher's Own Fool."
This is your deep thought.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So actually, where I really started with my deep thought is there was a Russian philosopher and literary critic from like the early 20th century named Mikhail Bakhtin.
I bet he was a bummer.
Actually, he first introduced the concept of carnivalesque.
Oh,
fun!
So sort of a kindred spirit for you.
Yes,
maybe,
yeah. He was writing about Dostoevsky of all people, and apparently that is a prime example of the carnivalesque, his writings.
Okay.
So he started talking about this in like 1929. So I got really into this literary idea, which is that basically Bakhtin tied medieval and like ancient like Greek and Roman carnival and like festivity traditions to a specific way of looking at the world. And he was specifically talking about it like how that can be expressed in literature and like how Dostoevsky is looking at his literature like through this carnivalesque gaze. And what it is about is the normal hierarchies being subverted in favor of everyone joyfully and equally participating in the festival. So you can see the kind of communist vibes.
Yeah.
But also you can see exactly what we were just talking about with like the clown, the fool can transgress. They upset the normal order of things. They put everybody on equal footings.
Right. So, but this makes me think of one thing.
Yes.
But not for very long.
Yes.
Just for a little bit.
Because festivals only last for a little while.
Yes. Then we go back to the social order we all know and love.
Exactly.
With the rich landowner at the top.
With the fucking cop with his badge popping the big clownzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like one of the interesting things he talks about, and I think where like he really ties it to like Dostoevsky's work, is that it allows different types of people to meet on like equalized footing. So you can have a peasant talking to a landlord, you know, and like meeting each other as equals without the normal constraints of like societal order. And so the usual hierarchies in the face of this joyful anarchy become really laughable and silly and easy to make fun of, even worthy of ridicule, which we kind of see with Mooney. He like becomes a source of ridicule to the point where he's turned into a ventriloquist doll.
He's ridiculous.
He is ridiculous. And so also in this interaction of opposites and like concepts that are normally kept apart, like the genders normally kept apart, we then find this new form of creation, which I don't know, maybe that's sort of what the clowns are doing with their reproduction. Maybe they are asexually reproducing because they are conflating the genders in a weird way or something. They just do it with popcorn. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big idea is that the truth that is found through laughter and in laughing at the usual order degrades the power of that order, which is very cool. And Carnivalesque also allows for the celebration of the physical body, even when it's like grotesque and like vulgar, which I think is another thing we say in this movie, especially with the sex emphasis, that kind of like vulgarness, that ribald humor is very celebrated.
Maybe a little bit of a spectacle.
Yeah. And that carnivals are important. Like you said, they're temporary, but they are an important part of like social renewal, like a release of pent up like resentments.
Yeah, you got to have something to celebrate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what are you doing?
And I do feel like this whole movie was kind of a moment for like, especially our main three trio, Debbie, Mike, and Dave, to sort of work through some pent up shit that they couldn't talk about before.
Yeah.
Because now they're in this new scenario and they're like, yeah, let's all hug. You know, like we can do that now because we're in this place where the world has been flipped a little bit. And because we are all sort of communally participating in this carnival, this evil killer carnival, but it's still a carnival, it's still chaos, and we're all equals in it, it builds like solidarity between us.
Kind of keeps society going.
Yeah, and like, and basically if you are somebody, like society can be so isolating so often, that this is a way to like sort of counteract that a little bit. And like if you're unable to do that, like with Mooney, you won't really survive in the carnival. You won't grow. You won't reach that renewal, that rebirth. You know? A lot of the people that clowns get, for some reason, are like when they're by themselves.
Say that again?
A lot of the people that clowns get are like by themselves. They often get people who are not always like the little shadow puppet. That's a small crowd.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the time, it's like, yeah, there's the one guy at the puppet show that they get, or they're like going door to door and just grabbing a person.
Yeah.
It's like weird. They seem to prey on individuals, whereas the people who are more like in community, like why doesn't that clown just eat all the people at the big top instead of trying to lure a child away?
Right.
It's like there is something about the carnival and community that's like important. And the other thing about carnival is that it also allows people to like experiment with like new identities, including inversions such as man to woman, or like ruler to servant, or like authority figure to like total chaotic figure or something, which I think we also kind of see a lot in this movie. If you believe the theory about Debbie and Mike being sort of swaps of the normal gender stereotypes, you know,
in this kind of movie. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we also see like Dave, who's like the younger cop, sort of stepping up above Mooney and becoming like the, you know, we see these sort of like switches that happen in like Terenzis, who are like these sort of fools who can't do anything right, kind of, and keep fucking things up and blaming each other. They are kind of like heroes in the end. Yeah. They get flipped to being heroes.
Yeah,
so like
survive.
There's all these like there's like these inversions happening. And also, there's some inversions happening in Mike and Dave's sexualities because they're hot for each other. I will never let that go.
Yep.
But so that was the first thing I was thinking about.
Thruple.
Was just sort of like this whole concept of the carnivalesque and like what purpose do clowns serve in a society? Or fools or jesters or whatever you want to call that kind of trickster spirit that exists in a society. And there is this book about the history of clowns that is just called Klowns, by John H. Towson. And he writes, throughout history, the idea of the clown has been linked with the fool. fool is usually taken to refer to someone lacking common sense, if not totally devoid of reason, and encompasses a broad range of characters. Unimpressed with sacred ceremonies or the power of rulers, he is liable to be openly blasphemous and defiant, uninhibited in sexual matters, and he often delights in obscene humor. And like, I just wanted to have that as like a starting point of like, I guess my whole big thought, which is that like these killer clowns are like the dark evil side of the slasher fool archetype. You know what I mean? Like that this movie is sort of like a slasher, like this is a movie for the slasher archetype of the fool. Like you said, everybody in this movie is kind of playing a fool role. And like, yeah, why do the Terenzi brothers have miraculously a JoJo the Clown? Like that's such a fool move to have that like prescience to like name their clown ice cream truck JoJo, and then it works out.
Yeah, right.
You know, like that weird shit that happens around fools that's like, it shouldn't work, but it does. And like those subversions that happen. And like, why are these idiots the heroes? Why are these kids, these young folks, these teenagers having to be the ones to save the days? Where are the adults? Which is a constant slasher problem in general. Yeah, right. But it's a subversion.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating to me. I did read a lot. There's this essay called Colrophobia and the Trickster by Joseph Derwin. And he does get a little bit into like the history of the clowns, which you already touched on, but he goes farther to talk about like a lot of like what he calls Aboriginal tribal peoples.
Ooh.
Had a lot of like ritual clowning. He says in a survey of 136 societies around the world, at least 40 had ritual clowns. Whoa. Okay. And that they were especially really important to like North American like Native groups. Like that we have a large history in like Native groups of actually ritually important clown figures, fool figures, who would take part in rituals and ceremonies, but also sometimes in like a mocking or a playful manner where like, even though they disrupted the ceremony, they were not only like not punished for disrupting the ceremony, but actually like that was their role. They wanted them to be disrupting the ceremony and kind of throwing it on his head because like, I don't know, they were able to do taboo things that I think maybe other people wish they could do. Like they would talk directly to the gods, be like, hey gods, what's up? Yeah. In like a way that's kind of like, you know, sacrilegious.
Yeah.
But like probably a lot of other people wish they could too. And like,
very
so it was like
familiar and informal.
Yeah. So it was like, it's like this certain clown role that gets to act out all of those like impulses that our society doesn't let us act out.
They get to say it.
They get to say it, which is something that you said, I think earlier about the fool. Yeah. The fool can transgress. Yeah. They're
allowed to do things we're not allowed to do.
And they would also play a role in like healing practices, even if it was just like to make the person who was like hurting laughter as medicine, like literally. Another quote from Derwin: while not all ceremonial buffoons engage in shamanism or healing, the role of ridicule and comedy in maintaining social order should not be overlooked. Often, the lewd and over-exaggerated portrayal of unwanted behavior among the tribe people causes sufficient embarrassment on the part of the offender that they will discontinue the negative behavior, thus eliminating the need for legal sanctions or other types of formal censure seen in some societies, which I found particularly interesting thinking of this movie where the cops prove useless.
Yeah, they are
the
useless.
Normal means of dealing with like Mooney stops answering the phone. If somebody was having a non-clown related crime, that wasn't getting answered either. And I'm also thinking of in terms of like that really great puppet show, which I love the fucking puppet show of the guy being like, I want to kiss you, lady, yay, and the lady being like, no, and then fucking shooting him or whatever. Does she shoot him?
Yes, she does.
Yeah, she fucking shoots him.
Yeah, it's funny.
She fucking shoots him. Yeah, and like. It's like such an over-the-top representation of like a lesson that I think a lot of the teenage boys in this movie, like the Terenzi brothers and maybe even Mike and Dave, could probably take away.
Could stand
which
to
is
learn.
Like, listen to what Debbie is actually saying with her mouth.
Yeah.
Before she fucking shoots you in the head because you're not fucking listening to her. You know? That is like to make it that like exaggerated and funny way is a way to be like, dude, just fucking stop.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking a lot about the clown as the full archetype. And that full archetype actually, sort of like it is stated in Cabin in the Woods, having roots way back in history. Maybe one day we'll finally find a movie where I can talk about the roots of like the virgin whore dichotomy, you know? I don't know why we haven't done that yet. But yeah, that the clowns are useful for showing like when something is wrong by exaggerating it to its extremes. Like, you might not notice it when it's like a little thing. Like, you know, oh, the guy doesn't always listen when you say no, you know, about this little thing. But it's like, no, we're going to put it to its extreme, so you have to pay attention to it. And also can kind of like show when something is right by showing how ridiculous its opposite is with all of their like inverting of things that they do. Like, wouldn't this be silly if we all acted this way, you know?
Yeah, like the way that the fool also, you know, is like foolish and might lack common sense, but also sometimes says something like super smart and insightful.
Yeah. And I'm also definitely thinking of like the jesters of like medieval royal courts.
I have been waiting for you to bring up medieval jesters.
Yes, because they were uniquely positioned to criticize the royal family.
Yeah.
And like through their japing around.
And sometimes, is it my understanding that they could also sometimes like give advice? Or is that a different...
I mean, we see that in some Shakespeare plays. I don't know how accurate that is.
Okay.
But I mean, because they were like servants of the court, you know, and so they did have to walk a bit of a line because they could be punished for the things they said. But because if they made it funny enough and they didn't push it too hard, they could actually make, you know, like the king or something, rethink some of his actions to be like, oh, that is kind of ridiculous that I'm responding this way to this thing. Maybe I am blowing this out of proportions. Or like, I never looked at it that way. Maybe women are people. No, probably not that one.
Definitely not. That can't be right.
Yeah. And so like, so that ritual clowning, that jester, it's all of this like release from rigid society. And that's like why we have like carnival and feast days. I mean, even actually in modern culture, like that's basically where Halloween comes from. Yeah. It's a feast day where we get to play pranks on each other. Like that was, it's been toned down since its original pranking, but.
Very much so. I also, God, something I'm barely clinging on to this memory from high school where when we were learning about like some ancient culture, and I want to say it was Greece or the Roman Empire, who fucking knows, but like basically as it's collapsing, they have come up with some excuse to make every day a holiday.
Right, it's the whole day of idea of like bread and circuses.
Yeah. Like how do you appease the masses?
You give them something to
enough to give them a little something, but still be able to hold on to your power and your resources.
So give them just enough food that they aren't starving and won't write about that, and just enough carnival to distract them.
Yeah, just a couple of times a year, probably.
Yeah. That's totally true.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to
bring up the jesters because I love jesters. They're my favorite
era.
Yeah, they're my fucking favorite.
Yeah, when you said Aboriginal tribes, I'm like, whoa, we're going taking a turn. All right.
But yeah, I mean, that's, plus there's also like Comedie dell'arte and all of that shit that goes on. There's so much about like the history of like clowning and gesturing and foolish behavior and like trickster spirits. If we want to get into like fucking Loki and shit or Anansi, like we could go all the way back, but we ain't got time for that.
Right. You also like we already talked about like these jesters in like Shakespeare plays and like books and plays and things, and then also like I took a class on the history of opera in college. Every goddamn opera has a clown in it. Some have multiple.
Some have Pagliacci where he's a killer clown. There's also that. That's an older killer clown.
So
the idea that a clown is someone who sees nonsense as sense or sees sense as nonsense, you know, and thus can like say something that is true, even sometimes when they don't realize what they're saying is true, like our fool archetype, and like can play it off because it's funny. You know, like a lot of, you know, I was thinking a lot about Marty and like all of his funny lines where it's like, but if you actually think about it, when you actually think about it though, it's like, oh, they are being watched. You know, we are not who we are, you know, and it's like play for funny, but. And like these clowns are playing
Nemo, your shit is topsy-turvy.
Yeah, literally, your shit is topsy-turvy. The other one that really made me think of him, actually, I got Derwin quotes a woman named Enid Welsford.
Great.
She says, "The madman is not always regarded as an object of commiseration. On the contrary, there is a widespread notion, which is not quite extinct, that the lunatic is an awe-inspiring figure whose reason has ceased to function normally because he has become the mouthpiece of a spirit or powers external to himself, and so he has access to hidden knowledge." And that did make me think back to like King Lear and the fool in King Lear and their relationship in terms of like madness and stuff. We don't need to get into all that Shakespeare said.
I also immediately thought King Lear.
But it also made me think of Marty, like especially that one line that he has about like his giant bong, where he's like, "Cops will not stop." What is it? The cops.
He
pull a man with a giant
bong
in his car. Why? They fear this man. They know he sees further than them, and he will bind them with ancient logic. I feel like that's kind of like the same. Like the fool is so crazy and wild and out there that people are afraid because they think that he knows more.
But then also, what happens immediately after that, I love how we're just talking about Cabin in the Woods now. What happens immediately after that is when Marty takes that giant bong and collapses it back in to look like a coffee mug.
So good.
And he's like, because I think one of them's like, you can't bring that into the van, you know, the RV. And it's like, a giant bong in your dad's RV?
Never.
What are you high? And I'm like,
and that's like such I mean, yeah, he is. I mean, as we know, my argument is that he's the virgin actually in that film, but he's such the fool.
Yes,
he's such the fool, and that's like such a classic fool moment. And I was just thinking about that also, in terms of like what we conceive of as like madness and craziness, and also like evilness when that gets tied in with madness, and like these clowns acting so crazy and outside. To the point where Mooney doesn't even think it's really happening because, like, that's so crazy and out there. What you need is a psychiatrist. You need a psychiatrist, not the cops, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, but yeah, these clowns are so unknown and they know things that we don't know. And so I was just thinking a lot about clowns and, like, the full archetype and, like, the evolving role that clowns have played in a society that, like, especially now really prioritizes, like, our Western society really prioritizes, like, rationalism and, like, what can be known. Like, we don't have the same beliefs in, like, mysticism or spiritualism that we used to have, you know?
Also, absolutely. And I just would want to add on to that also, like a lack of empathy.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, because that's kind of one of the possible psychological reasons for people not liking clowns. Is like, I can't read your face.
Right. That is.
It's like, I can't empathize with you and you can't empathize with me.
And there's also this thing about, like, kind of with that lack of empathy, that, like, we reject, like, gray areas in favor of things being, like, very strict boundaries or, like, binaries or something. That I think also when we erase that nuance, it makes us harder for us to empathize because we see people as either on our side or, like, against us.
This just takes up less brain power to categorize.
Yeah. One last quote from Joseph Derwin that I really liked is kind of how he summed up his thoughts. Nonetheless, in movies, books, and in the phobias of many, certain archetypal qualities of the sacred clown are half remembered. At the edges of our conscious mind, we fear the coming of such enigmatic shamanic figures with their hostility to established order and religious authority, their rejection of social and sexual norms, and their blurring of boundaries. They mock the holes in our conception of the universe, our notions of safety and security, and all the other frail certainties of our times. And I was just like so ready to read that when you were talking about the aliens.
Not unlike aliens.
Not unlike aliens. Boom! Killer clowns from outer space.
We did it.
We did it. Wrap it up, folks. Wrap it up.
What are we at? Are we at 2 hours yet?
Just about.
Okay.
Yes. So that was kind of, my big thought was just sort of like, these are fools.
Yeah.
That is the archetype we're talking about. They play an important role even when they are the scary force.
Yeah. I feel I could just talk about like the function that creepy and not creepy clowns serve in our society. But are you ready to play a game?
Yeah, let's just play a game. Let's just do it. We're fun. We're having fun. This is Carnival-esque. So we thought just for this one, just sort of a quick little game of Would You Rather.
Just a good old-fashioned Would You Rather.
Because the first one that did inspire this was me pondering, would I rather own a real dog or a sentient balloon animal dog?
So I cannot believe that that's even a question for you.
Oh my God. Did you not see how cute that balloon animal dog was?
I did, yeah.
And my main thing, actually, that I went back to, I need to know how sturdy that dog is. That balloon animal dog.
Right.
Is it immortal? Because if I could have an immortal balloon animal dog, like, because it doesn't need food, it can't get sick and die.
Waste.
My only question is, like, is it going to get popped when I cuddle with it? Am I going to accidentally lose one of its ears?
Maybe.
So I don't know. That's what I would need to know to make this decision completely. Yeah. Obviously, I love real dogs.
Yeah.
Pooh Bear, beautiful bear,
R.I.P.
dog, beautiful dog. But if I just had a little balloon guy, I could bring him into any place. I'd be like, what? They're just a balloon animal.
Balloon animal. What are you
gonna do? It's not a dog. It's not making a mess.
Yeah.
It's just hanging out.
Yeah.
It's super cute. It makes little sniff noises. Oh my God. Apparently they brushed its feet in latex. I did read about this dog.
Yes.
They brushed its feet in latex so it wouldn't pop on the rope. So like if it's sturdy.
Yeah.
I want it.
Yeah.
Are you? No, you're not sold on that?
I'm going to stick with a real dog. Because here's the thing about balloon animals. They're cool, but like the sound that is produced when they are made. And also like the squeaky sound. I'm not into that sound. Also, like what really is appealing to me about a pet is fur and softness.
I would
and
cuddle with a
fuzziness.
balloon. If it was a big balloon dog, and you could just sort of lay your head on it, and it's like air, balloon air.
Like a pillow.
Yeah, but it's a balloon dog, and it goes sniff, sniff, sniff. I don't know. I think it would be beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it could be a wonderful life, but if it pops the moment I lay my head upon it,
exactly,
then that would be too devastating for me.
Yeah, you wouldn't. No. Just
okay.
So that is what kicked off the idea.
Yes. My next one was, would you rather be non-lethally buried in pie or cocooned in cotton candy?
See, that one's incredibly easy for me as well.
Really?
Yeah. It's cotton candy for sure. Yeah. Again, it goes back to the sensory experience.
I just feel like that one, though, you would be all bound up in it.
Right.
It feels very restrictive.
I'm not so concerned about that as much as the sensory experience of have pie
is it
literally
hot pie?
All over me.
Or is it just like a cream pie?
So that's the thing is that
they were like fruit pies.
Yeah, they were fruit pies and cream pies.
They were both.
I saw, yeah.
I mean, either way, you're going to have to take a bath out of it because I actually don't like cotton candy. I think it is too sticky, which obviously would be a problem with the pies too.
Yeah.
But depending on the type of pie, I think I would make myself more sick trying to get out of the cocoon than get out of the pie pile.
Interesting. Okay.
Because that much condensed sugar.
It's a lot.
Versus like a nice apple pie or something.
Right, yeah. And again, this is not the Killer Clown acid pie.
Yes.
And this is
or the liquefying cocoon.
The spider web. Not spider web, spider.
Yeah, I guess the cotton candy would be a less wet experience. And that's always nice. One always wants a less wet experience.
Right. And also, like, I do enjoy the smell of cotton candy. So.
Makes me a little headachy.
Yeah. Anyway,
okay, let's see.
So I would just go with cotton candy. Again, non-lethally.
Would you rather be an expert in ventriloquism or shadow puppetry?
I've thought a lot about this.
Okay.
I feel like your answer is shadow puppetry. Is it? You don't know?
I love puppets.
Yeah.
Of all form.
Yeah.
Except I have a line with ventriloquism. I don't know why.
Oh, so it's not so much you're choosing shadow puppets, it's that you're not choosing
If it was just normal puppetry...
Yeah.
With like the little bar that you do and you make the puppet move. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'd want to do that. But the moment you're making that little guy talk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
maybe that's what creeps me out a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want my puppets talking. Unless it's the kind you put your hand in and they have the little mouse and you use your hand to make the mouse move.
Yeah.
You know. I'm not. Yeah. But I don't know. Like the classic ventriloquist puppet.
Yeah. With the mouth. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're always assholes.
They are.
I feel like they're just excuses for people to be assholes.
Yeah. I would probably go with ventriloquism, actually, just because I think it would come in really handy in my classroom.
You could see it having uses.
Yeah,
especially if you could do different voices.
Yeah, and like, especially I could see it in my classroom when I'm like, ask a question and it's fucking crickets, and I could like cast my voice to the corner, like, what about?
You'd be like, oh yes, good idea. What's about?
Or what I've been seeing on Instagram a lot, which is somebody like saying something like mumbling under their voice and then being like, who said that?
Yeah, yes.
I could see using that.
Oh my God. I would use it when like one kid is being kind of a jerk and I want one of the other kids to be like, hey, you're just kind of being a jerk.
Hey, can you stop? Yeah.
Because I know that he'll listen to another one of the kids and not to me.
Yeah.
That would be very useful.
Yeah.
Shadow puppetry though. To the extent that those clowns could do it.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was incredible.
The sexy dancing lady.
Oh my God. If I could make a sexy dancing lady on the wall.
Washington crossing the Delaware or some shit. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have limited uses, but I think that's what I want.
Because you would also need shadows.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, I'm going to go with ventriloquism.
Yeah, I think
ventriloquism. Ooh, that's a hard one to say.
Okay. I like this one. You added this one.
Yes, I did.
Would you rather be consumed by killer clowns or become one?
Right. This goes by my idea of how they procreate.
Yeah. Right? Oh, yes.
Right.
And of course I want to be a clown. I've always wanted to be a clown my entire life. I want to be a jester. I want to be cute in my motley.
Oh my gosh. I think we're going to be
batting zero
and agreeing with each other on this. But that's really funny. No, I would rather just be consumed by one. Honestly, I don't think I'd want to be a killer clown.
You would get so many cool powers.
Yeah. Also, because I don't.
I would get my balloon animal dog.
You would.
I would get my shadow puppetry.
You would.
I would get balloon breasts if I wanted them.
If you wanted them, you could inflate them whenever you wanted, and
just at any moment
whenever you want.
Just my genderqueer life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, last one. Would you rather have the last name Mooney or Tobacco?
Again, this is very obvious to me.
Tobacco?
Yes. 1,000%. I would have the last name
I feel
Tobacco.
like Mooney is like more of a normal name.
Yeah, that's just that's an Irish name.
Yeah, it's just a normal name.
Yeah.
But my problem with Mooney, actually,
Okay.
well, see, that's what I was thinking. It's a normal name, so you would feel okay taking it rather than the name Tobacco. People are going to be like, really? Erika Tobacco?
Tobacco? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, Erika Tobacco. Whereas Mooney would be like, oh, yeah, your name's Erika Mooney. But I bet as a kid, you would get made fun of for the last name Mooney. It'd be like, Looney Mooney.
Oh, maybe.
Or like, oh, I'm going to moon Mooney. Or something stupid like that.
I'm trying to remember back to my childhood and
But yeah, no,
about
Katy Tobacco,
how people
Katy
got made
Mooney.
fun of for their names.
Normally with rhyming.
Yeah, through rhyming, absolutely. Yeah.
And I don't know what that a kid could do anything with tobacco. But Katy Mooney sounds kind of good, and Katy Tobacco, So I think I'd go Katy Mooney.
Right. Erika Mooney.
Erika Tobacco.
Erika Tobacco.
It kind of works for me.
I'm going with tobacco. Just for the joke of it.
Yeah.
Just to go with the theme of clowns and clowning, and I'm just for the joke of it. I would take the last name Tobacco. Wow, we did it. We
Nothing
chose
for nothing.
all opposite answers. I love it. And that's how this friendship works.
But this has been Deep Thoughts, Shallow Plots.
Thank you as always to sound guy Matt.
A real clown in my life. Follow us on Instagram at Deep Thoughts, Shallow Plots, all spelled out. We're also on YouTube.
We sure are.
Next time we will be watching... Oh yeah, we're going back to school season.
So here's the thing. We have yet to do a Stephen King vehicle.
Oh, yes. And so we will not do it.
Exactly. And since we just talked about clowns, it's not going to be it. We're going to kick off back to school season with Carrie.
A great time at school.
Yeah. And until next time, what are you going to do with those pies, boys?
So long ago, you can't skin a dead one, don't you know? Some make us purr and some make us cry. These cats, honey, gonna make you die. Everybody's running when the claws come out and attack. Everybody's gunning for the likes of the killer cats from outer space. Killer cow from outer space. Meow. Cat's got your tongue, you can't even shout. Send in the cats, let them take you out. See the pointed teeth in the furry face, bringing genocide to the human race. Play a game where the mice cats have to harass. Tin roof up in flames from the likes of the killer cats from outer space.